After 25 years of journeying with Pikachu by his side, it's time for 10-year-old Ash Ketchum to put his hat down, put his feet up, and retire in peace after becoming the best trainer in the world. The journey has gone high and also gone low, but the time has come for Ash to pass the torch to two new protagonists. But the question is it a good idea or is it a step in the wrong direction? It's time to look at the positive and negatives of Pokemon's anime finally changing the main character. Before we start, I would like to point out that this is my opinion. The first episode of the anime came out in 1997, and I'm sure over the years we all feel a different way about the Pokemon anime and how it's unfolded. I for one have already done a video on Ash's adventure in Kalos. Make sure to check that out, by the way, but only after this video. And make sure to comment down below what you feel about Pokemon changing Ash as the main character. Let's start with the positives. Positive 1, the end of the floating timeline. For those unaware of the concept of a floating timeline, it's a particular story technique used to explain why a character doesn't age over a period of time. Think about The Simpsons, for example. In over 30 years, the kids have stayed kids, and aren't now like 40-something-year-olds with grandkids, minus the episodes that shows the future them. And the Pokemon anime has been caught in that. As such, Ash was not developed with the audience. I'm gonna put this into context and how this is a problem. Now, at risk of signaling how old I am, Pokemon's anime started the year I was born. Since the anime began, I've grown up, gone through school, university, started a YouTube channel, a TikTok, make sure to subscribe and follow them by the way, so on and so forth. That is a lot of time passing. Yet in storyline, Ash has stayed the same age throughout. This at some point eventually limits storytelling abilities. There's only so far you can go in a floating timeline before you reach a point where you can't tell much more. By removing the floating timeline, you open up the idea of allowing new protagonists to grow with their audience. Not that they would do that, by the way, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. You can no longer be limited by the fact he has to stay the same age. Because at the end of the day, you can't now make him 30 years of age in the main character, because for 25 years he stayed the same. Positive number 2, where else can Ash go from here? The biggest thing holding on from Ash's character was that he still hadn't become a champion. He wasn't the Pokemon Master. To keep it short, he lost the two legendaries in Generation 4 to stop him from winning in Sinnoh, and in Kalos he lost a fairly favourable matchup in the final. The continuous postponement of his coronation allowed the anime to always have something to work towards. But now not only did Ash win the Alola League, but the Master 8 tournament that made him the strongest Pokemon trainer in the world. He is now the very best like no one ever was. It's perfect to change it now. And with the green light for his final episode starting in January 2023, it's going to pay homage to older characters alongside Ash. It aligns perfectly to pass the torch to the next generation. Positive 3, revitalization. Let's look at the popularity of some of the main selling points of Pokemon. The graph shows the Google trend over the last 5 years of the Pokemon video game series, the trading card game, and the anime in both Japan and worldwide. The trading card game over time in Japan has hovered around 2 to 5, while hovering around 2 to 3 worldwide. The games, which are the main selling point, have always been incredibly high throughout, spiking in particular points when a new game has been released, such as when Sword and Shield's released, Scarlet and Violet, so on and so forth. The anime, however, has stayed at less than 1% in Japan consistently and 1% worldwide. These three components have been main vocal points for Pokemon for over 25 years now. It's something that costs a lot of money to produce, and the anime is the weakest in terms of popularity. Therefore, it's important that a change is provided in order to hopefully spike an interest in it. Maybe people are curious as to how the new anime is working, maybe they're curious to how the original anime is going to end. I don't work as a data analyst, but in the last few years, the only time I've ever seen the anime trend is when we knew that Ash was going to win the Alola League, when Ash was in the Master 8 tournament, and then when we knew the anime was going to end. The anime is just not as popular as the other two main components of Pokemon, so maybe they feel like a change is needed in order to spike the interest in it once again. Okay, let's talk about the negatives. Negative 1, potential alienation of older audiences. A common theme in the video has been the emotional attachment to a character who's been around for years and years. The decision to change a well-known character could potentially alienate those who have grown up with that character. Ash has been a constant within the anime, and for those that have grown up with the character. The initial reaction on Twitter was definitely an "oh no, the childhood is over" type of reaction. Despite the fair points of it dragging his eventual coronation, it's definitely caused a reaction of sadness almost because it's finally ending. An argument could be made for fans of the series for years switching off from the show now that the character that they've watched for years and years is no longer there. Negative 2, what if the new characters aren't liked? When a main character or main presenter is changed, there is always a potential of a negative reaction due to the change in character, because the new character is not as liked or wanted. For example, in Dragon Ball Z, there have been interviews with Akira Toriyama, the creator, as well as general discussion on the internet, that point out that Gohan may have been intended to become the main character and replace Goku. Now that never happened, and the most likely scenario is not changing what already works. By changing the main character, there is a potential the new focus of the series is not liked. For example, look at the numbers of the TV show Top Gear in the UK. It was a very popular TV show, but you'll notice there's a massive drop in viewers at this particular point. And though it's recovered a bit in the future, its previous heights were the show's best. This particular drop in viewers coincides with the original 3 presenters being replaced by new ones. Will the new characters be liked? I honestly don't know, but by changing an already established formula, there's a potential people will not like it. In my opinion, it was time for Pokemon to make a change in how the anime works. Ash has been a big part of most people's childhoods who've grown up with Pokemon. Regardless of frustration with him not winning the league at the right time, frustration with no change in Pokemon. As a character, he's been someone who's been there for a lot of people growing up with the series. But time's come to change and try something new. And it's time for a new generation of main characters to take the front. Ash gets to retire as the best there ever was. And that is the ultimate respect the character can be paid. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments your favourite Pokemon moment in the anime of the last 25 years. I'm curious to know what you remember the most over Ash's journey. Make sure to like and subscribe as it really helps me out. Also check out my other socials including my Twitter, my Twitch, and now my TikTok. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you would like to see. See you guys.